I just watched a video by Manic, and he was responding to a pastor, I believe, who did this crazy video talking about how science can't prove God or disprove God, and how people that claim or demand it are just not dealing with what God really is, among other things. And this is one of the most frustrating, annoying things I find with theists. They define and argue and just create up and make up nonsense about God in such a way that it makes it completely impossible to disprove or prove, and say, well, you're trying to prove God or demand proof of God, and it's ridiculous. No, you've created this concept in such a way with no reason to have it. There is no evidence of it. There's no evidence that even any of the things you claim about God being true are true. You're just making up bullshit. You're just saying whatever you think makes God impossible to disprove. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not anything useful or valid. Even if a God exists, there's no way to know whether any of the claims you make about him is true. And even though you could define God in such a way that he's impossible to be proven, maybe there is a way to prove him. All you've done is try to argue what you want rather than what reality is. And that's not useful. That doesn't prove anything. And trying to act like science can't prove something because you don't want it to is just ridiculous. But then you want to make claims that science can prove. Like, that God is required to create the universe. Well, show your math, show your evidence. And saying, well, I can't think of how it would be without him, that's not evidence. You don't get to make up bullshit and then complain when other people call you out on it. If you got evidence, if you got proof of your God, show your evidence, show your work, show what you've done to create this or show this. Because I'm not going to accept it when all you've got is logical fallacies, special pleading, and every other form of nonsense that we hear when it comes to God. Saying God is beyond the universe. Well, maybe things beyond the universe, but it doesn't make it useful. God's beyond time. Well, if God's beyond time, then he does nothing. You have to make things that make sense. In trying to word salad God into existence doesn't do anything, because either God exists or he doesn't. And no philosophy, no word salad, no making excuses for why he can't be proven or disproven, or why there's no evidence of him, won't make him real if he isn't. And saying that we're just being silly for demanding evidence just shows how silly you guys are, how unreasonable and unrealistic you guys are, that you can't admit that maybe God doesn't exist. You have to create these things because you know your God exists, whether or not that's real. So, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Rate, comment, subscribe.